Oki.
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 Oki, and welcome.
We acknowledge that we're gathered on the lands of the Blackfoot people of the Canadian Plains.
We pay respect to the Blackfoot people's past,
present, and future. We recognize the thousands of Indigenous peoples
From many diverse nations,
all left their home,
including members of the Blackfoot Confederacy,
the six gates of the people,
Akana,
Ikani,
Siksika, Amskapi people,
as well as other First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. We respect Indigenous peoples' cultural heritage,
beliefs,
Truth
and relationship to the land.
that stretches back in time.
We will not blink at history.
We will not blink at history.
and we will learn from it.
Oki is an invitation.
A step forward.
In Blackfoot, Oki means hello.
Oki means hello.
Hello.
Oki.
Okay.
Oki.
Oki, and welcome to the lands of the Blackfoot people.
Okay, and welcome to Dial In. My name is I'm the acapellist, and I have with me my lovely co-host Di. How are you tonight, Di?
I'm wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Good to hear. Good to hear. We had invited our friend back, our friend Rita back, but she didn't respond, and that's probably because I sent it like 2 hours ago or so, or whatever. I probably didn't give her enough lead time, but that's okay. Di and I just wanted to have a little chat with you. And one thing we wanted to tell you, if you did not know this, that her book, Could This Be Grace, is now available for purchase. And on the scrolling little piece on the bottom, it has her website. And now, when you think of the experience her and her family went through, and the suffering and the heartache, and how she has turned that into something beautiful, I think that is something, a very inspiring story that could really help you along your journey if you're having some struggles in your life. Di, did you want to comment?
I wonder if this might be an opportunity to share your screen, go to the website, and show the trailer of the book.
Di, that is an excellent idea. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, hang on a second. Let me just find that. Oh, look at that. Okay. Oh, I'm scrolling through the websites. You know, I had this up just yesterday. Now I'm lost it. But one is a Diane McConnell obituary. Whew, glad that's not you, Diane. That's good news.
That would be a showstopper.
It would be, yeah. There was one time this gentleman died, and his name was Alan Friesen, and basically he was about the same age as me. And so he's about the same age as me. Oh, there's the problem. And so I had a couple people call me up and say, Alan? Leave me a message like,
Well, you should be answering the phone.
Well, exactly. That's right. Yes. Okay. What the heck? Why? Two BIA. Oh, no, not two N's, one N, right?
Two N's.
Two N's E MCCONNELL.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
It's all one word. Diane McConnell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
We know it works. You've been there.
I've been there. I posted. Oh, you know what? Why am I messing around with this? Remember, yes, right here. It's right here. So why wouldn't I go edit this, copy it out of here? I see what I was doing. Now I was putting in calm. It's a good thing that our guests can watch me fumble my way through the internet. Isn't that a special event? All right. This time it's going to work. I'm feeling good about this. Could this be grace? All right. And then what you're saying is go to the video is right on here. Oh no, it's on Diane's story. Is that where it is? Diane's story. Okay. I'm going to do the screen share and then you guide me for where we go. All right. All right. All right, ma'am. Where should we click here?
On the book.
The book. This looks familiar. I remember seeing this website.
Scroll down, and there's a video.
Okay, let's put that on. Seeing possibilities in the face of adversity. Hallelujah. That's beautiful. Nice.
There we go.
Okay,
And
so go ahead.
while you're there, or did you eliminate it?
No, I can go back there. You want me to go back? Yeah.
Go to Disability Bears.
Disability Bears. Oh, we were talking about just this the other day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let me get there. Disability Bears. Here we go.
So there is my sister. Let me introduce you to my sister.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Her name's Donna, and what she does is she repurposes fur coats. So individuals that have fur coats and they are hanging in the closet, no longer being worn, and they don't want to get rid of them, but they don't know what to do with them. She repurposes them and she makes bears. And she's become very, very popular. She's a local artisan in the place where I live, Nordegg. And she has made bears. She worked, she's retired now, but she worked in her career as an educational assistant for young children that had disabilities. And she got very attached to each of the students that she worked with. And in her journey, she made them bears based on their disability.
That's beautiful.
Here's a couple of examples. So the one that's going to come up, like there's a bear in the chair, but here's blind bear. So she made that bear for my son, Ben, who's blind. So the little bear had a white cane, but my son also had a trach. So this blind bear also has a trach.
Beautiful. What a very, what a special gift, for that, child that gets that. My goodness.
Yes. And they love them. I know my son, he loved that bear. And he
I
would
bet.
feel the trach all the time and feel the white cane. But
Yeah.
she also has made a bear where you come in behind it and your hands go into its paws. And then you can do sign language with the paws so that the bear would actually sign with the child.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
tell us more about the Hope. Did you have just one Hope carrier who helped you through your journey, or several? One. So tell me about, like, you don't have to use her name or anything, but like, how long was your relationship, and like, how did that work? Did you call her all the time? Did she call you? Was it a he? Was it she? Tell us.
The journey was for us a complicated journey. And I talked about this when we did our series, but we know that there was not tons, that's not a very good word, but there were many hospitalizations with both of my boys, but different hospitals at different times and sometimes at the same time. And through all of those experiences, we identified what I call in the book problems of practice, which made our life particularly challenging because they were barriers that we had to kind of figure out and navigate through. And during this time, when I felt a little bit overwhelmed and exasperated, I brought those challenges or those barriers to the attention of senior executive. For example, at one point in time, I booked a meeting with the president of the university hospital and described what was happening in our particular case. These were the things that I observed, but I also said, and this would be a possible solution. These are the things that would help us, that would make a difference. And one of those things that I identified was a point person. One person that was consistent through wherever it was that we were.
Beautiful.
Person had the ability to be connected to the players so that communication was being shared, so that everybody was on the same page and that people were abreast of what was happening to us, because in absence of that, it looked like an isolated incident each time we showed up. But it wasn't isolated, it was compounding.
Mm-hmm.
And that in and of itself made it even that more challenging. So we ended up, for example, my husband has a story where he brought one of our sons into Emerge and had to tell his story and the history 7 different times. 7 different people came into the room and they started from the beginning. That
Wow.
person, another person came in and again and again and again. And all the while our son is sitting there really needing attention and needing support.
No kidding, eh? Wow.
So based on what I'm sharing with you, on the second or the third time that I was connecting with this senior executive that left the hospital and took another position, still with the same solution, he gifted us this position of community connector, hope carrier. And it was a pilot project.
Okay.
And this particular individual showed up, and that's exactly what she viewed and understood her role to be, was ensuring that everybody was on the same page. And a really good example early on in our relationship is that she had a meeting with us, and it was specific to our youngest boy. She took the information and shared it and discovered that the physicians, the team she was communicating with specific to this boy, didn't know that there was a brother that was having the same issues.
Mm-hmm.
That's the disconnect. So she brought them in and said, no, they're not dealing with one thing here. They're dealing with 2. And, and these 2 have different teams, different people. And she wasn't there to fix anything. She wasn't there to provide counseling or therapy or services in any way directly to us, but she's there as a catalyst and really ensuring that in this role of catalyst, that all of the players, and there were many, really had the same information. We're all on the same page. And that in and of itself was really hopeful for us.
Oh, what a gift.
Because we didn't have to tell our story 15,000 times. And people knew when we showed up at hospital, we didn't need to go through triage because they already knew the history, and they knew we weren't just showing up there because we didn't know what was wrong. We were showing up there because we knew what was wrong, and there needed to be some support and some help.
Yes. I kind of lost signal. Oh,
not because it needed to figure out what's going on, right?
Right. I might have lost you for a second there, Di. I lost my internet, I think, for just a second. But I was just saying, I don't know if you heard me say what an amazing gift this was to you and your family to have this hope carrier on your team, right? That's incredible. And that only happened because you were such a strong advocate, right? How many people would get an appointment with the president of the hospital, say, like, we need to have a chat about my experience, right? Very, very few.
Well, I think that I think is evidence of how stressed out and maybe not clear thinking I was. Because
But it worked. Like, I mean,
it didn't intimidate me. It was, where's the phone? Boom, boom, boom.
well,
Are you a doctor? Yes. Well, then you get over there. You do your job. I had one of those right.
That was a pilot project. So did it continue? Are there Hope Carriers still that are employed or no?
I think that she continued to work with other families, and I think they had some other individuals in that position. But truly, this is it should be a shared position across systems.
Yes.
It shouldn't belong to any one system, because as soon as it belongs to one system, then all of the procedures, protocols, kind of regulations all come into bear, and they create boxes around that.
Right.
And then they start looking at mandates, and should I be doing this job when it belongs to health, or should I be doing this job because it really belongs to education? And then what starts to happen is you get so far, and then there's a barrier, and then you got to jump into the other system. And what ends up happening from families is you got to start over.
Yeah, exactly.
So she created that fluidity among the players. And what I really appreciated is she was very well respected across the system.
Yes.
So she could send an email out to rehab, to health, to education, and say, hey, I was just visiting with Diane. Here's an update on what's happening with the McConnells.
Yeah.
And I think people appreciated that.
Yeah.
And when we had meetings at the hospital, or there was Glen Rose involved, she would call all the players to say, you need to come to this meeting. And they came.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody gave their perspective. And then what I saw happening at the table is that people would say, oh, I never thought about that, looking at the situation through that lens.
Yeah.
And that it impacted and influenced them within their own area of expertise with respect to what they just learned from somebody else. Because one of the things that was happening with our boys is that with a single service team, they would identify what they believed or perceived to be the underlying problem or cause, suggested a treatment that was a known treatment for their identified diagnosis. But because what was happening was multi-system, what they saw was the intervention complicated another system. And now we have another problem.
Right.
So the medication or the treatments triggered another system. So now I have another problem.
Excellent. Yeah, I understand. The side effect of one treatment, here's the side effects that the next yields to or causes. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Complicated. But what an amazing, about your Hope Carrier that you had that worked with your family. That's a great story too, that I'm sure is in the book, very clearly in the book.
It's in the book. And one of the things that we did do after the book was the Hope Carrier and Roy and I and our daughter, this senior executive that I had connected with a number of times, she invited us to do a presentation to decision makers in health. So there were directors, executive directors, folks that had staff, and she asked us to do a presentation on this very topic to them. And it was a 3-hour presentation, and I think there was about 70 people in the room that were holding those positions, and this is the conversation we had. And so Roy and I and Maren told our story and our experience, and then the Hope Carrier talked about her job and how she came to be doing what she was doing and what she saw to be the benefits. So I've been trying to promote this model. When I was doing my job last year, I wrote a course that there was some interest at Grant MacEwan that individuals that would like to do this kind of work in the community. It's a 12-hour 4-module course, but it's sitting on a shelf right now.
Whoa. Wait a minute, Diane McConnell, PhD. How come I didn't know this before? This is like a great opportunity. Why don't we share this with people? Like, I mean, whatever you need to have, let's put it out there so people can register for it. What do you need to have to deliver that course?
Yeah, I think what we need is endorsement. I mean, I was actively working at it in my job, and we needed to, because why would people sign up and take a course if there wasn't a job at the end of it?
I see.
Health, education, social services, children's services, they need to form some type of an alliance or a partnership that agree that this would help them all, and jointly create these positions and fund them so that people, if they took the course, they would have an opportunity to be able to be hired and have an opportunity to do this work in the community. So
I understand.
That doesn't happen. Yeah.
I jumped right to, we had Magdalena made this comment. Can you see that, Di?
Yes.
Yeah. So she made a little comment, probably because I was ranting about Diane McConnell. How come I didn't know that? Okay. So where I jumped to is volunteers, is like community people who, let's say there's somebody who's got correct. All right. Thanks, Magdalena. There's people in the community who say, you know what, I could do this role. I could be supportive. But you're saying if they're not hired, if there's not a job for them, they won't be recognized in that field anyway. So they're not going to get nowhere.
Well, if people really want to do this work,
right,
and they want to have support and they want to have professional development, because we talked about this last night. And I think the importance is that when you are in the face of an adverse situation, you want to be able to create a situation where there is hope. And if you don't have any tools in your toolbox to be able to, I mean, it's really important to say, I'm here, you're not alone, I'm here. But I think what we're talking about is the aspect of, so the tools in my toolbox can open some doors and create some opportunities for you that reinforces and validates hope.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I love it. So back to the course. You created the course on spec that people would say, yeah, we want this. And also that you felt you could influence budgets to put in budgets for people to fill this role in well, you wanted to be community funded, so that it would be the provincial government would say, yeah, we want to make a bunch of those hope carriers.
Okay. The place where I was working last year, we got grant money, and we actually ended up hiring three to work in the community.
Yes. Okay.
And and TJ talked about them. She brought them up.
Yes.
And she said they're really, I think, highly successful.
Yes. And so was it you or TJ said you were going to get me in contact?
TJ said she would get you a contact.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. I love this. I think it's great. And those people are doing, amazing work, and they're getting paid as well, right? Somehow, some way the budget dollars were found within your employer to fund those positions, right? And they're serving people throughout the community, and whatever their path is, like, it's not specific to one place. It's not specific to police or social services or healthcare, if I'm understanding you correctly. Is that right?
So yeah. I understand, and from my situation, if you had an adverse situation or a challenge that could be resolved within a single service or within a single system in Alberta, we're top of the line. I mean, if you look at the work that's been done in heart and the Mazankowski, and if you have a heart problem, people go, oh my gosh, we're just so lucky. We've got the research, we've got the support, we've got the services. But if you've got something that requires multiple systems,
I'm having a phone. We have a phone-in caller. It happens to be somebody we both met. Hang on, let me put her on speaker. This is Corolla. She said that there was a Facebook message. She said, but I couldn't find it. But she's called in. What'd you have to say there, honey? Oh, shit. Are you there? Corolla?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Okay, yeah, we can hear you. Okay. Are you upstairs?
No, I'm outside.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, good. Okay, I saw you left a Facebook comment. I can't find it, but that's okay. What were you saying?
Well, I had two things that I was sharing, and Diane, I think that's a great idea with the Hope Giver there, or Hope Care person. That's awesome. When my dad was an Alzheimer's patient, they had a lot of trouble dealing with him. They didn't understand him, the things he'd been through. And so one of the nurses suggested to me to make a little book. And so I made a book about my dad's life and, some of the things like that. He was in a work camp, so he's not very well, doesn't deal well with, being confined or held or, that kind of stuff. And then the book stayed in his room. Now, whether anybody bothered to use it, that's a whole different story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But again, to kind of get some connection, some insights about your dad and his life so that his caregivers might be more informed, more trauma informed. It would be a trauma informed type thing, right? That, if you were in a work camp, you would have a different perspective on life. Ooh, just about dropped the computer.
And being locked in a facility too, right?
Yes, locked in a facility. Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
And then the second thing I just wanted to mention was I kind of checked out the System Navigator on the Lethbridge page.
Yeah.
It's way too broad to be, super useful as a healthcare thing.
Okay. That's good feedback. It is not where it needs to be. And what Diane's talking about is System Navigator amped up like 10 times kind of a thing, right? It's
well, it definitely needs to be more geared towards healthcare and, people who need help, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It should be a very seamless way. Somebody addresses with a problem. The person who's the System Navigator can say, "Boop, I know the lead person at this agency. I think they're the folks to help you." You connect the two and away they go. Di had a comment too. Hang on a sec, Corolla.
Just across different systems.
Yes, and I don't know if you got the distinction, Corolla, across different systems as well. The Hope carriers that Diane's referring to, they would be across like the medical, the social services, the police services, the educational, like it's kind of a navigator throughout all those systems, which is even more amazing, right?
Right.
Well, and that's kind of that thing that you talked to in the States, isn't it? Where they had where the police let schools know if kids were in trouble or if they had a problem, remember?
Yes. Yeah, it was a great program. It was basically what was it called? Handle with Care. So a child, there's no legal things, but the child has had a very hard night. Maybe his dad got arrested at 3 a.m. or something. And so then they would just advise the school district, handle this kid with care. No details, just handle with care, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's, he gets his test on another day, right? That kind of a thing. So
I will reach out tomorrow and invite the woman that was our Hope carrier to come on to the show.
Please do. That's great. I would love that. Corolla, what was your comment you had?
I think, handle with care. Since we're Canadian, it's not patented here.
Oh, say that again about handle with care. What?
That's a good title.
Yes, it is handle with care. Yeah, it is a good title.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to hang up now and let you guys continue your conversation.
Okay. Love you. See you soon.
Yeah. See you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, a call in. How excited! A call in and Facebook messages.
So, what was the Facebook messages?
The first one where, Magdalena said, "Laugh out loud because I had got all excited about your course," and then I said, "Correct," and then now she said, "Great." So so that's great. So what else do you want? So you're going to check about having the Hope carrier be our guest at a future episode. That would be lovely.
Yes.
And the book was a good idea too, Magdalena says. The book was a good idea too. Like the book, I think she's referring to your book, Could This Be Grace? Which, by the way, I just went to order it. And it says, our e-commerce system is still not fully functioning. Please check back in a few days and you'll be able to place an order.
No, it's working because somebody bought one today.
Well, I could take it. Just wait. I can show you the screenshot if you want to see it.
Oh, that's good news.
Now, wait a minute. One other thing too. If I was going to buy a book, but I want to autographed by the author book.
Well, then don't buy an e-copy.
Well, no, I was going to buy the e-copy.
Wait till I see you.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. Because I want to, here's what I just was going to do, which I'm not going to, because of course I want this one's going to come out of somewhere else, and I want one with your autograph on it.
Oh, that surprises me. Okay, I'm going to go report that right now.
Okay.
It's supposed to be all operational and working, and somebody was successful today, I heard.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Di, it's been a pleasure. Magdalena, thanks for joining us. Corolla, thanks for your comments. Appreciate that. You know, Magdalena, this happened one other time. We had a guest who commented on Facebook, and we say, hey, do you want to come on the show? If you'd like to come on the show, send me an email or just shoot me a message or something.
Yes.
You have a screenshot. Okay, cool. All right. So thank you. Good night.
Good night. Talk to you soon.